abyss beckons with a chilling call. Come closer, listen to the shadows draw. So subscribe and like, and don't be afraid to dive into the darkness where the shadows are laid. Tales from the shadows will spook your world. Join us on this journey, let your fears unfurl. Stay tuned, stay weird, and watch out for what lurks in the shadows.
Welcome, friends, to the dark and the deep, where whispers linger and shadows creep. Tales from the shadows, where legends arise, with ghostly stories and myths that mesmerize. We continue our tale, picking up right where we left off. Together, Denny shouted, rallying their spirits. We can push through this. Suddenly, a shadow lunged at them, taking the form of Denny's greatest fear, isolation. Will they stay with you? It taunted, its voice a distorted echo of his own. What do you have to offer, son of Odin? I am more than just my heritage, he shouted, pushing through the illusion. I am Denny Wyatt, and I have earned my place here. Keep pushing, Eric urged, slicing through another shadowy figure that materialized, this one embodying his fears of inadequacy and failure. Such determination. Loki's voice rang out, mocking and dark. But do you think you can truly overcome me? I am the master of illusion. You're nothing but a coward hiding in the shadows. Let's see how well you handle the truth, shall we? No, Celine cried out, stepping forward. That's not who we are. Our past does not define us. Our choices define us. Focus on the light, Eric shouted, pushing against the dark tendrils that sought to pull him under. We've faced everything together, and we'll face this too. We choose hope, Denny shouted, his voice ringing with conviction. We choose each other. No. He howled, frustration spilling from his lips. You cannot resist me forever. Denny, look, Celine shouted, pointing to a figure emerging from the mist. You've done well to stand against the shadows, they said, their voice clear and steady. But this battle is far from over. What do we do now? Loki is not finished with you yet, Ira warned, their expression grave. He will return stronger and more determined. You must be prepared for what lies ahead. We will be ready. There is something I must show you, they said. This is the Yggdrasil, Ira explained, their voice steady. But it is not as you know it. A darkness is creeping into the roots. If it is not stopped, it will consume everything. What can we do? You must journey into the depths of Niflheim once more, but this time to find the heart of Yggdrasil, Ira instructed. Only by restoring its balance can you hope to defeat Loki's growing influence. We'll do it. We'll find the heart and protect Yggdrasil. Remember, trust in one another. Together, you are stronger than any darkness. Let's go, he said, taking the lead. We have a world to save. The atmosphere shifted as Denny and his friends prepared to enter Niflheim, the realm of mist and darkness. Remember, Ira warned, Niflheim is a place of illusions and despair. Your fears may manifest in ways you least expect. Trust each other, and do not let the shadows sway your resolve. Denny nodded, feeling the weight of Ira's words. Loki's spectre still lingered in his mind. Stay close, Denny said, his voice firm as they navigated the treacherous terrain. Do you feel that? Celine asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Like we're not alone. Yeah, Eric replied, his hand tightening around the hilt of his dagger. Let's keep moving. Get ready, Denny shouted, raising Gungnir. Something's coming. Foolish mortals, the giant bellowed, its voice like grinding ice. You dare to trespass in my domain? We seek the heart of Yggdrasil. We mean no harm. Then we'll make you, Eric shouted, launching himself into the fray. Eric, wait! Celine cried, but it was too late. You'll pay for that, he yelled, charging forward, with Gungnir raised high. Is this the best you can do? The giant taunted, laughter echoing ominously around them. We can't give up, she shouted, firing arrows at the giant. We're not alone in this fight, he yelled, rallying Eric, who was slowly returning to his feet. Let's show this giant what we're made of, he called, charging again with renewed vigor. Now, Denny, Eric shouted, urgency in his voice. You may have bested me this time, boy, the giant's voice echoed as it faded into nothingness. We did it. We worked together. We have to keep moving. The heart won't wait for us. Do you see that? Eric pointed ahead, his voice filled with excitement. Yes, Denny exclaimed, quickening his pace. We're getting closer. Loki, he whispered, recognizing the sensation. Welcome, my dear Denny. You've made it this far, but this is where your journey truly begins. Loki, Denny shouted, anger surging through him. What do you want? Why, to see how you fare against your own choices, Loki replied, his voice smooth and taunting. Fight it! Selene yelled, desperation lacing her voice. We won't let you take us, Loki, he shouted, channeling every ounce of strength into his voice. Together, Denny cried, feeling the warmth of their connection. We can break free. Enough! Loki's voice rang out, laced with fury. You think you can defy me? This is far from over. We're so close, he breathed, but the foreboding weight of Loki's threat hung heavy in the air. The radiance of the heart of Yggdrasil pulsed before them, casting an ethereal glow that illuminated the misty darkness of Niflheim. Denny felt its warmth, a powerful energy that resonated deep within him. The air was thick with magic, and he could sense the heartbeat of the ancient tree echoing through the realm. We made it, Selene breathed, awe filling her voice as she stepped closer. The light danced around her, reflecting the determination in her eyes. It's beautiful. Denny nodded, feeling a sense of urgency. We must retrieve it and restore balance before Loki can gain more power. As they approached the heart, a series of runes etched into the stone pedestal around it glowed in response to their presence. Each rune told a story of sacrifice, unity, and the struggle between light and darkness. But as Denny reached out to touch the heart, the ground shook violently, and a wave of dark energy erupted from the portal they had just escaped. Stop them! Loki's voice boomed, reverberating through the chamber. Shadows coiled around the heart, forming a barrier that pulsed with malice. You think you can take what belongs to me? The shadows twisted and shifted, taking on the forms of twisted creatures, monstrous shadows that snarled and snapped at the air. Denny's heart raced, fear mingling with determination as he stepped forward, gripping Gungnir tightly. Stay behind me, he commanded, taking a defensive stance. We won't let you take it. Foolish boy, Loki sneered, his laughter echoing like thunder. You're outnumbered and think your bravery will protect you? With a flick of his wrist, Loki summoned a surge of dark energy that crackled through the air. The shadows lunged toward Denny and his friends, their eyes glowing with hunger. Now! Selene shouted, drawing her bow and firing arrows infused with light. The arrows struck the nearest shadow creatures, exploding in bursts of energy that sent them flying backward. Eric, help her! Denny yelled, dodging a shadowy claw that swiped at him. He focused on the barrier around the heart, feeling its pulse quicken in response to their fight. We have to weaken the shadows to get to it, Eric nodded, darting forward to help Selene. He weaved between the shadows, slashing with precision and courage, his dagger glinting in the dim light as he took down one creature after another. Denny felt the tide of battle turning in their favor, but Loki's presence loomed larger. Your efforts are futile, Loki bellowed, and with another wave of his hand, he summoned a massive shadow beast, a twisted amalgamation of darkness with glowing red eyes that fixated on Denny. The beast charged, roaring with fury, and Denny braced himself. Stay focused, he called to his friends, feeling the power of Gungnir surge through him. We can't let fear control us. As the beast lunged, Denny sidestepped, narrowly avoiding its jaws. He thrust Gungnir forward, channeling all his energy into the weapon. The spear glowed brightly with an inner light, slicing through the darkness. Now, Selene! He shouted as she let loose another volley of arrows, piercing the shadow beast and illuminating the cavern with brilliance. Eric took advantage of the distraction, rushing in and delivering a decisive blow to the creature's flank, causing it to falter. We have to drive it back! Push it toward the barrier, he yelled, his voice filled with urgency. Denny nodded, heart racing with determination. Together, he called, and they moved as one, coordinating their attacks against the beast. They forced it backwards, step by step, toward the barrier that protected the heart. With one final push, Denny summoned all his strength, raising Gungnir high. This ends now, he shouted, thrusting the spear forward. The light erupted from Gungnir, a blinding beam of energy that struck the shadow beast directly. The creature howled in pain, the light tearing through its form, disintegrating the darkness in an explosion of energy. Denny felt the pulse of the heart respond, the vibrations resonating deep within him as the shadows scattered into the mist. Is it over? Celine panted, glancing around as the last shadows dissolved into nothingness. The cavern fell silent, save for the soft heartbeat of the heart of Yggdrasil. Not yet, Denny replied, heart still racing. He stepped toward the heart, feeling its energy thrumming in response to his presence. We need to take it back and restore balance. As he reached to touch the heart, the runes flared to life, swirling around him in a tapestry of light. He could feel the ancient power coursing through him, and in that moment, he understood the weight of his lineage, the responsibility that came with being Odin's son. But just as he was about to grasp the heart, a dark tendril lashed out from the portal, wrapping around his wrist with an icy grip. Denny gasped, pulling back in shock as the shadows coalesced again. Did you think you could simply take it? Loki's voice echoed, darker and more sinister than before. You've only just begun to grasp the depths of your weaknesses. Get off of him! Eric shouted, lunging to help, but the shadows pushed him back, threatening to swallow him whole. Don't you see? Loki continued, his voice smooth like silk. Your fears, your doubts, bind you. You can never escape me. Denny, Celine cried, her eyes wide with worry. Fight it! Denny felt the cold tendrils tightening around him, pulling him closer to the darkness. But in that moment, he remembered the strength he had drawn from his friends. I won't let you control me, Loki, he shouted, channeling his inner power. With a surge of energy, Denny summoned the light of the heart, pushing back against the tendrils. The warmth radiated from him, illuminating the cavern and pushing back the shadows. Your light is weak, Loki spat, frustration lacing his voice. You cannot defeat the darkness that lies within. But Denny's resolve only grew stronger. You're wrong. I am not alone. I have my friends, he yelled, focusing on the bond they shared, the unity that had carried them through every trial. In a blinding flash, the light erupted, shattering the darkness and sending Loki's tendrils spiraling away. The shadows recoiled, and Denny felt the grip on his wrist loosen. Now, Celine urged, her eyes shining with determination. Grab the heart. With a fierce cry, Denny lunged forward, his fingers closing around the heart of Yggdrasil. The moment he touched it, a wave of energy surged, filling him with warmth and strength. The runes around them glowed brighter, pulsating in time with the heart's rhythm. The shadows that had once threatened them began to dissolve, and the light swept through Niflheim, casting away the encroaching darkness. Denny felt an overwhelming sense of connection, as if the heart acknowledged his resolve and determination. I can feel it, he exclaimed, the energy surging through him. The balance is returning. Keep it steady, Eric shouted, a fierce light in his eyes. We must focus on restoring Yggdrasil before Loki can regain power. Denny nodded, channeling the energy of the heart into the surrounding mist. He could feel the roots of Yggdrasil stretching, reclaiming the dark corners of Niflheim. It was as if the very essence of life was pushing back against the despair that had taken root in the realm. Loki's voice echoed through the clearing, filled with rage and disbelief. You think this will hold? You will pay for this insolence. But Denny's focus remained unbroken. He concentrated on the bond he shared with Celine and Eric, feeling their strength intertwine with his own as they pushed back against the encroaching darkness. Together, Denny shouted, and they channeled their combined energy into the heart. The light burst forth, a beacon of hope that surged through Niflheim, illuminating the path forward and driving back the shadows. The darkness unraveled with a final power surge, dissipating into nothingness as the mist cleared. The heart of Yggdrasil pulsed brightly, casting a radiant glow that enveloped them. We did it! Celine gasped, tears of joy glimmering in her eyes. We did it! Denny's heart swelled with pride and relief. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious. But as they stood there, basking in the light of the heart, a new realization dawned on him. This isn't over, he murmured, glancing back toward the portal that had tried to drag them into darkness. Loki will come back. We need to be ready. Ira appeared beside them, their presence a comforting reminder of their journey. You have done well, young warriors, but the true challenge lies ahead. The balance must be maintained, and the forces of darkness will always seek to disrupt it. Denny nodded, determination hardening in his chest. We will protect Yggdrasil. We'll train and grow stronger together. Ira smiled, their eyes glinting with approval. Then let us return to Valhalla Prep, where you will continue to hone your skills and forge your destinies. As they turned to leave, Denny felt the weight of the heart in his hands, a reminder of the battles fought and those yet to come. They had faced the shadows and emerged more muscular, but he knew the path ahead would be fraught with challenges. And as they stepped through the light, Denny couldn't shake the feeling that Loki was still watching, plotting in the shadows. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. As the light enveloped them, Denny felt a gentle tug at the edges of his consciousness, as if the heart of Yggdrasil were whispering secrets he was yet to understand. The radiant energy that had filled the cavern now dimmed, replaced by the familiar sights and sounds of Valhalla Prep. Yet the sense of peace was deceptive. Shadows lingered at the periphery, a reminder of the darkness they had just escaped. "Welcome back, heroes." Ira's voice broke through Denny's thoughts, her warm smile a beacon in the cool air of the courtyard. "You have accomplished what many have failed to do. The heart of Yggdrasil is safe once more." "Yeah, but for how long?" Denny replied, glancing at Celine and Eric, who exchanged worried looks. "Loki won't just give up. He'll be back, and he'll be angrier than before." Ira nodded solemnly. "You are correct, Denny. Loki is a master of deception and trickery. He will seek revenge, and you must prepare." "What do we do next?" Celine asked, determination gleaming in her eyes. "Training must continue, but we must also delve into the knowledge of our ancestors," Ira explained. "You must understand Loki's strengths and weaknesses, and the history that binds your fates." Denny felt a surge of excitement mixed with apprehension. Where do we start? There are ancient texts within the library that contain prophecies and accounts of Loki's past. It would be best if you learned of his battles and the mistakes others have made against him. Knowledge is power, and it is essential for your victory, Ira instructed, leading them toward the towering library, its ancient stone walls draped in creeping vines. As they entered, the scent of aged parchment filled the air. Tall shelves stretched toward the ceiling, crammed with books and scrolls that seemed to whisper stories of old. Denny ran his fingers along the spines, feeling the weight of history surrounding him. "Over here," Eric said, pointing to a hefty tome resting on a pedestal at the center of the room. It was bound in dark leather, embossed with silver runes that glimmered softly in the dim light. As they gathered around the tome, Denny opened it carefully, revealing intricate illustrations of Norse gods and mythical beasts. The text was written in an ancient script, but the words began to shift and rearrange as he focused on them. "Loki, the trickster," Denny read aloud, his voice echoing in the quiet space. "A god of chaos, born from deception, he walks the line between light and dark, often using his cunning to manipulate those around him." Celine leaned closer, her brow furrowed in concentration. "What else does it say?" Denny turned the page, revealing a dramatic depiction of Loki's battles against the Aesir. It talks about his alliances and betrayals. He was once a trusted friend of Odin, but the seeds of his betrayal were planted long ago. "Maybe we can use that against him," Eric suggested, tapping his fingers on the page thoughtfully. "If we understand how he operates, we can counter his moves." Denny nodded, excitement coursing through him. "Let's find more. We need every advantage we can get." Hours passed as they combed through the library, absorbing knowledge and ancient strategies. They discovered tales of Loki's shape-shifting abilities, his talent for illusions, and his capacity to sow discord among even the closest of allies. The more they learned, the clearer it became. Loki thrived on chaos, exploiting any weakness he could find. As they studied, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the library floor. Denny's eyes began to feel heavy, but he pushed through, his resolve strengthened by the knowledge they were gaining. Suddenly, Celine gasped, drawing their attention to a passage she had uncovered. "Listen to this. The only way to bind Loki is through the binding of his own making, an iron chain forged from the essence of Yggdrasil itself." Denny felt a chill run down his spine. "A chain? What does that mean?" Eric leaned in closer, his eyes narrowing. "It means we could create something that could contain him. If we can gather the right materials from Yggdrasil, we might be able to forge a weapon against him." "Do we have access to Yggdrasil's roots?" Celine asked, glancing between Denny and Eric. Aira approached them, her expression thoughtful. The roots of Yggdrasil extend into realms beyond our own. They are both a source of great power and great peril. If you wish to pursue this path, you must tread carefully. Denny felt a surge of determination. We have to try. If we can bind Loki, we can stop him for good. Very well, Era said, nodding approvingly. But be prepared. The journey to the roots will be fraught with danger, and you may encounter guardians that protect Yggdrasil's secrets. Bring it on, Eric replied, his confidence unwavering. The trio gathered their supplies, determination etched on their faces, as they prepared for the journey ahead. With every step they took, the weight of their mission settled on Denny's shoulders. But he was not alone. He had friends by his side, each ready to face whatever trials awaited them. The following day, the air was crisp as Denny, Celine, and Eric set out from Valhalla Prep. The path ahead led deep into the heart of Yggdrasil's roots. Stay close together, Denny instructed, gripping Gungnir tightly. The deeper we go, the more danger we'll face. Celine nodded, her bow slung across her back, arrows at the ready. And the roots are said to hold many secrets. We need to be vigilant. Do you hear that? Eric asked, glancing around, eyes wide with both fear and wonder. It's probably just the magic of Yggdrasil, Denny said, though he felt a chill creeping up his spine. Stay focused. We're getting close. There it is, he breathed, awe filling his voice. The root of Yggdrasil. Celine stepped forward, examining the shimmering surface of the root. It's beautiful, but we must find a way to gather the essence without disturbing it too much. Who dares disturb the heart of Yggdrasil? The most prominent guardian boomed, its voice rumbling like thunder. You trespass on sacred ground. Denny stepped forward, trying to project confidence despite the fear racing through him. We seek the essence to forge a binding for Loki. We mean no harm. Loki? The guardian's eyes narrowed, and the air crackled with tension. He who seeks to unravel the fabric of existence? You dare to challenge the trickster? We do, Celine interjected, stepping beside Denny. We must stop him before he unleashes chaos upon the realms. Denny felt his heart race. What do we have to do? You will face 3 trials, the Guardian explained. Each will test your strength, your wisdom, and your heart. Only then may you draw upon the essence of the roots. Let's do it, Eric said, his voice steady. We're ready. The first Guardian stepped forward, its eyes gleaming. For your first trial, you must face the trial of strength. Overcome the beast that guards the way, and only then will you earn your passage. Stay sharp, Denny yelled as the wolf lunged at them, its fangs bared and growling with ferocity. Celine quickly notched an arrow, her aim steady. I'll cover you. Denny raised Gungnir, channeling his energy into the spear. Let's take it down. The battle with the massive wolf was fierce, each trio member showcasing their skills as they dodged and countered the creature's relentless attacks. Celine's arrows flew through the air, striking the wolf's flanks and forcing it to retreat momentarily. Denny, wielding Gungnir with determination, focused on the rhythm of the fight, channeling his growing confidence with every strike. Eric moved with agility, darting in and out, trying to distract the beast and create openings for his friends. Keep it distracted, Denny shouted, tightening his grip on Gungnir. I'm going in for the kill. With a roar, the wolf lunged toward Eric, but Denny seized the moment. He launched forward, the spear glinting in the dim light of the clearing. This ends now, he yelled, thrusting Gungnir forward, aiming for the creature's heart. In that split second, Denny felt a surge of power through him, the essence of Yggdrasil responding to his call. The spear glowed brightly, and he plunged it into the wolf's chest swiftly. The creature howled in agony, and everything seemed to freeze for a heartbeat. The air crackled with energy as the wolf transformed into a burst of green light, dispersing into a cloud of shimmering particles that swirled around Denny and his friends. Panting, Denny pulled Gungnir back, heart racing with adrenaline and triumph. One down, he said, glancing at Celine and Eric, who both nodded in approval. The second Guardian stepped forward as the light faded, its voice a deep rumble. You have proven your strength. The next trial is the trial of wisdom. Answer this riddle, and you shall proceed. Hit us with it, Eric said, determination etched across his face. The Guardian recited, I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Denny furrowed his brow, the riddle echoing in his mind. It's an echo, he exclaimed, recalling his lessons about the natural world. The Guardian nodded slowly, its expression softening. You are correct. Your wisdom grants you passage. With the second trial complete, the final Guardian stepped forward, its eyes piercing. The last trial is the trial of the heart. You must each confront your deepest fear to prove your worth. Denny felt a knot form in his stomach. What do you mean? The heart reveals what lies within. Each of you will face an illusion created from your fears, the Guardian warned. Only by overcoming it will you be deemed worthy. Celine stepped forward first, determination on her face. I'm ready. The Guardian raised its hand, and a mist enveloped her. For a moment, Denny could see her struggling within, her features contorting in fear. But then, Celine's silhouette straightened, and a burst of light emerged as she broke free. She stepped back, breathing heavily but triumphant. I faced the darkness of my past. I won't let it control me anymore, she declared. Eric followed, confidently stepping into the mist. Denny watched as he grappled with an unseen force, the light flickering around him. Moments later, Eric emerged, shaking off the remnants of his fear with a proud grin. Nothing can hold me back, he said, his voice steady. Finally, it was Denny's turn. Taking a deep breath, he stepped into the swirling mist. Instantly, shadows enveloped him, and he stood in a dark void. Before him, a figure loomed, Loki, grinning with malicious delight. So, the son of Odin thinks he can challenge me, the illusion of Loki taunted, his voice dripping with disdain. You'll never be anything more than a pawn in a game you cannot understand. Get out of my head, Denny shouted, his heart racing as he felt the weight of Loki's words sink in. I'm not a pawn. I have the heart of Yggdrasil. I can't be manipulated. The illusion laughed, echoing through the void. You think you can control your destiny? You're just like your father, a fool blinded by arrogance. At that moment, Denny felt his resolve falter. Doubts crept in, whispering that he would never be good enough, that his lineage would always overshadow him. But then he remembered Celine's strength, Eric's confidence, and the bonds they had forged together. No, he yelled, pushing back against the darkness. I am Denny Wyatt, son of Odin, and I define my fate. With those words, the darkness shattered around him, and he stepped free of the mist, panting but triumphant. The Guardians regarded him with newfound respect. You have completed the trials, the most prominent Guardian proclaimed. You have proven your strength, wisdom, and heart. Now you may draw upon the essence of Yggdrasil. Denny stepped forward, heart racing, as the Guardian pointed toward the massive root. He could feel the energy thrumming beneath his feet, pulsating like a heartbeat. Gather what you need, but remember, the power you harness carries a great responsibility, the Guardian cautioned. With his friends by his side, Denny focused on the root, channeling his energy into it. He could feel the essence flowing into him, a powerful connection that filled him with warmth and strength. As they finished, Denny felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. We did it, he exclaimed, turning to Celine and Eric. But just as they began celebrating, a chill swept through the air, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. Dark clouds gathered above them, blocking the sun, and a familiar laughter echoed through the clearing. Well done, my dear brother, a voice purred from the shadows. But you're not free yet. Denny turned, dread pooling in his stomach as Loki emerged from the darkness, his eyes gleaming with mischief. You may have won this battle, but the war is just beginning. Loki, Denny shouted, raising Gungnir defensively. We're ready for you this time. Oh, are you? Loki taunted, a smirk playing on his lips. We'll see how well you fare against the chaos I will unleash. You have no idea what you're up against. Before Denny could respond, Loki raised his hand, and a crack of thunder split the sky. Dark tendrils of energy shot toward them, wrapping around Denny and his friends. Get ready! Denny yelled as they braced for impact. As the tendrils pulled them into darkness, Denny felt a surge of fear and anger, but alongside it, a flicker of hope ignited within him. They had faced Loki before, and they could do it again. The last thing Denny saw before the darkness consumed them was Loki's wicked grin. And with a final whisper of resolve, he knew this was the beginning of their fight against chaos. A whisper echoed through the void. The heart of Yggdrasil is strong, but Loki's schemes run deeper than anyone can foresee. The battle is far from over. That's going to do it for this tale. This tale continues with the next adventure on Tales from the Shadows, so be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Until next time, stay tuned, stay weird, and watch out for what lurks in the shadows.
This has been Tales from the Shadows, where the shadows speak the stories that will make you weak. Join us on this journey into the unknown. Tales from the shadows, where fear is shown. So subscribe and like, and don't be afraid to dive into the darkness where the shadows are laid.